Hello, everyone. This is Frank with Teachly University, and in this lecture today, we're going to be discussing and revisiting Dr. Joseph Murphy's work, The Power of the Subconscious Mind, and how to unleash the subconscious mind in helping us transcend and to achieve our goals and live a more happy and fulfilling life. And as I've discussed in several of my lectures, when it comes to the subconscious mind, what we impress on the subconscious eventually has to express itself in some way. And what do I mean by this? Well, when we impress upon the subconscious negative thoughts, negative ideas, and images, revisiting negative events and memories that have happened in our lives, that has to express itself in some way. And that expresses itself usually in an emotion where we feel a certain way. We revisit past events that were negative in nature. Well, we tend to feel frustrated, depressed, anxious especially if we're imagining a worst case scenario that can happen sometime in the future. Again, when we impress on the subconscious, it has to express itself in some way. And that expresses itself in negative feelings, but also potentially negative circumstances. So what Dr. Joseph Murphy says from his book, The Power of Your Subconscious Mind, he says that to give no one in all the world the power to deflect you from your goal, your aim in life, which is to express your hidden talents to the world, to serve humanity, and to reveal more and more of God's wisdom, truth, and beauty to all people in the world. Remain true to your ideal. Know definitely and absolutely that whatever contributes to your peace, happiness, and fulfillment must of necessity bless all men who walk the earth. The harmony of the part is the harmony of the whole, for the whole is in the part, and the part is in the whole. All you owe the other, as Paul says, is love, and love is the fulfilling of the law of health, happiness, and peace of mind. So let's look at the beginning of this excerpt from The Power of Your Subconscious Mind by Dr. Joseph Murphy. He says, no one in all the world can give the power to deflect you from your goal, your aim in life, which is to express your hidden talents to the world, to serve humanity, and to reveal more and more of God's wisdom, truth, and beauty to all people in the world. So we talked about what you impress on the subconscious mind has to express itself in some way. So by indulging in negative thoughts and ideas, it then becomes much more difficult to express ourselves and to express our God-given talents and to express happiness and joy and wisdom and truth and beauty to those around us. By indulging in negative thoughts and behaviors, we not only harm ourselves, we potentially harm the people around us. We harm those who we care about the most. That is why it is so important that we become self-aware of how we think. We become much more cognizant of our thoughts and how they impact our lives. As Earl Nightingale says from The Strangest Secret, you become what you think about. What you impress in the subconscious has to express itself in some way. But by impressing on the subconscious more empowering ideas and thoughts and injecting that emotional intensity behind them, feel like as if we're living in the end, this can contribute to our peace and happiness and fulfillment in life. And that's when we achieve harmony, where we're whole and complete. We no longer need something outside of us to feel a certain way. We are already happy and in love with life right now. We are living a life full of health and happiness and peace of mind because we are in the present moment. We're not trying to force something or try to always be doing something. We are living out what it is that we want to see in our life. We embody it and become what we seek. So to quote Dr. Joseph Murphy, he says that the first thing to remember is the dual nature of your mind. The subconscious is constantly amenable to the power of suggestion. Furthermore, the subconscious mind has complete control of the functions, conditions, and sensations of your body. Trust the subconscious mind to heal you. It made your body and it knows all of its processes and functions. It knows much more than your conscious mind about healing and restoring you to perfect balance. So many of the functions of our body and how they operate, from our heart beating to other major functions, it's controlled by the subconscious, or it's underneath our consciousness. Our body functions and operates without us even thinking about it. But what we impress on the subconscious as Dr. Joseph Murphy says, that the subconscious is amenable to suggestion. So how many things are suggested to us on a daily basis? When you think about, again, turning to social media, all the negativity that's on social media, the 24-hour news cycle, this constant bombardment of negativity can, over time, suggest to us on a subconscious level that the world is a hostile and dangerous place. So naturally, as a side effect of that, or how the subconscious expresses itself, is that we become much more anxious, fearful, discouraged, frustrated because of the suggestions that we indulge in. But when we use more empowering suggestions, that's why I think affirmations is so important. Taking the time every day to start the day by using affirmations, preferably early in the morning or before we go to bed, where we impregnate the subconscious with more empowering ideas. We plant the seed that will grow into something much more fruitful and good for us. Affirmations such as I am healthy, I am wealthy, I am capable of living a great life. I am capable of overcoming all that I face in my environment. I am healed and restored, so on and so forth. And again, you can custom tailor the affirmations the way you like it. The point is we want to affirm in the present moment that what we want is already here now in the present. Because remember, the subconscious mind does not know the difference between what is real and what isn't real. So we live in the present moment and live in the end as if what we want is already here. No longer do we have to strive, no longer do we have to always feel like we're busy all the time. We treat ourselves with kindness knowing that we've done our best, and now we're going to take ourselves to the next level that can help heal us and restore us and move us in perfect balance. So be still and be quiet, Dr. Joseph Murphy says. That we must tune in with the infinite intelligence and continue in right thought, right feeling, and right action, and you will arrive at your goal. So when we see the term infinite intelligence, a term that has been used quite often in many books within this space, such as in Think, Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill, The Science of Getting Rich by by Wallace D. Wattles, Thomas Troward's work and other books in this space that discuss infinite intelligence, which could be also another term for God, for nature, for energy, the universe. But when we communicate with this infinite intelligence, and I'm reminded of actually of Bob Proctor's book about how to change your paradigm, where he discusses how we must communicate with this intelligence in a way where we impress upon it what it is that we want. Where the infinite intelligence is also part of our subconscious. And by impressing upon this intelligence, our desires, the things that we would like to have, the person that we would like to become, with such feeling as if what we want is already here, we communicate with this intelligence that can help us then arrive us at our goal. That is why meditation, I think, is so important. And meditation does not have to be where you're simply sitting down in silence. You can meditate any time of the day and anywhere, simply by closing your eyes or just staying present and being aware of your thoughts and feelings and your emotions at that given moment, and not judge yourself. And simply be still and become aware that this intelligence is listening, is feeling what you're feeling, and is one with you. So oftentimes then, your conscious mind interferes with the normal rhythm of the heart, lungs, and function of the stomach and intestines by worry, anxiety, fear, and depression. These patterns of thought interfere with the harmonious functioning of your subconscious mind. When mentally disturbed, the best procedure is to let go, relax, and still the wheels of your thought processes. Speak to your subconscious mind, telling it to take over in peace, harmony, and divine order. You will find that all the functions of your body will become normal again. Be sure to speak to your subconscious mind with authority and conviction, and it will conform to your command. So I like this quote from Joseph Murphy from his book, The Power of the Subconscious Mind. Especially how when he stresses the importance of speaking with authority and conviction, where the subconscious will conform to your command. And what Dr. Murphy really is saying is that we have to live with intention. and injecting emotion into this process where we feel what we want is possible, that we are very clear about what it is that we want. And oftentimes what causes worry and anxiety, fear and depression is that we're sort of rudderless, where we wake up every day unsure of what it is that we want, unsure that what we want is even possible. And we spend every day, every waking moment, living without any sort of meaning or purpose. But when we have a clear intention, a clear vision of what it is that we want, without judgment, without trying to force it, we just know what it is that we want. We could see it, envision it, visualize it, feel it that it is already in the present moment with conviction, and we decide that this is what we want with such authority. Again, when we impress this in the subconscious, it must express itself through the changing of our circumstances, the changing of our behaviors. It's just a natural consequence when we decide to think this way and to behave this way. We must have conviction. If we don't have any sort of conviction, again, and I've said this countless times, that we simply just intellectualize this and just know of this material, but not act upon it and feel upon it, then this will have been a waste of time. It will not be effective. You must have the authority and take ownership of your life. That you have decided, this is what I want to do, this is what I want to have. I have made that decision, and I will not relent until I achieve my goal. And you must have this with authority. And a sense of authority cuts through all the anxiety and worry and fear and depression. Not through force, but through confidence. No longer will you indulge in these emotions. But even if you experience anxiety and fear and depression and worry, you won't judge them. You just accept them for what they are and not pay too much attention to them. And in doing so, we outgrow our problems and transcend into a higher level of being. So going back to infinite intelligence, Murphy suggests that infinite intelligence leads and guides me in all my ways. Perfect health is mine, and the law of harmony operates in my mind and body. Beauty, love, peace, and abundance are mine. The principle of right action and divine order govern my entire life. I know my major premise is based on the internal truths of life, and I know, feel, and believe that my subconscious mind responds according to the nature of my conscious mind thinking. When we discuss or look at the conscious mind, that is, the conscious mind is the analytical part of the brain where we set goals, we analyze, and think through what happens to us and what we experience in our daily life. But we must use a conscious mind to impress upon the subconscious what it is that we want. And as I said before, the subconscious does not know the difference between what is real or not. So then when we entertain new possibilities and communicate with the infinite intelligence of what it is that we would like and impress upon it what we want, naturally over time this leads us to live a harmonious life because we're no longer striving, we're no longer trying to force an outcome, we're no longer indulging in negative behaviors because we believe and have faith and believe with an emotional intensity of abundance that what we want is possible, that we don't have to worry anymore because what we want is already here or it's on its way. And we soon begin to realize that really all that we've been after really is a specific state of consciousness. Not so much that material possession, the money, the cars, the specific career, or other material possessions. Rather, it's to feel a certain way. And once we enter that state, we don't need as much anymore. And then we start to live a life of harmony. Harmony between mind and body, where we embrace beauty and love and peace and abundance, where we begin to see the abundance all around us that we may have perhaps ignored before because we've been so distracted with our cell phones, constantly checking into social media, binging on Netflix, and doing other harmful activities that may seem innocent at first glance, but at long term could be potentially harmful because it prevents us from looking deep within ourselves and begin to make the necessary changes to be in the present and to make the changes necessary to overcome any undesirable circumstance that we may be experiencing. So from his book, Believe in Yourself, Murphy says that life is addition, death is subtraction. You add to your life by imagining whatsoever things are true, lovely, noble, and godlike. Imagine and feel yourself successful, and you must become successful. You are never a slave to circumstances, environment, or conditions. We become enslaved to our circumstances, environment, and conditions when we try to change our circumstances or change our problems within the problems themselves. We obsess about the problem and trying to solve it, when what we should be trying to do is to outgrow our problem, but we no longer pay any attention to it, and instead begin to imagine and feel ourselves already successful, already living the end of our desired wish and our dreams. To embrace possibility, that there's much more to life than we simply experience through our five senses. And by imagining and feeling yourself successful, again, that must express itself in some way, that over time we will eventually become successful. Granted, it's important to define what you deem to be a successful life. For some people, it's earning a certain amount of money, or having a certain career, or making a specific difference in the world. Whatever that may be, you can experience success now. You become successful when you acknowledge you have the power within you to transform your life and make a difference. And you become self-aware and live a life of intention. If you are simply acting robotically or just reacting to your environment, then success can be very elusive because you're not living in the present and you become enslaved to your circumstances, environment, or conditions. So another quote from his book, Believe in Yourself. What does success imply to you? Again, I ask that it's important that we try to define what success means to you. You want undoubtedly to be successful in your relationship with others. You wish to be outstanding in your chosen work or profession. You wish to possess a beautiful home and all the money you need to live comfortably and happily. You want to be successful in your prayers and in your contact with the universal power within you. Imagine yourself doing the thing. So I was listening to an audiobook by Grant Cardone called 10X. And there was a segment in the book that I thought was really inspirational, where he talked about how so many of us seem to obsess about time management or work-life balance. But that how really this is a bad approach, that instead of focusing on time management, we should be focusing on how much abundance we can have add to our lives, or really how we can have it all. And when you think about what success means, for most of us, many of us want the same things: to have improved health, better relationships, financial independence where we don't have to worry about money anymore. We can live comfortably and happily. We can live our best life and authentically express ourselves. Now, granted, everyone has different dreams and goals, but they all lead to pretty much the same thing for the most part. So then it's important that when it comes to success, we want to make a priority of adding abundance to all aspects of our life: spiritually, emotionally, physically, financially, in terms of our career, relationships, etc. How can we add abundance? And that should be a priority, and that's something we should ask ourselves every morning. How can I add abundance to my life this very moment? How can I have it all? How can I live my best life right now? And when you ask this with such clear intention and conviction, and remove the distractions from your circumstances, your mind will come up with the answer. And no longer then will you indulge yourself in negative emotions or behaviors, because you're reshifting your focus from what you want, from what you don't want, to what you want. And inadvertently then you begin to change your beliefs because of the intention and decision you have made that you are going to live your best life now, and that you've decided with clear intention to add abundance to your life in any way, shape, or form. So, once again, from The Power of Your Subconscious Mind, Murphy says that I shall grow more good-humored. Joy, happiness, and cheerfulness are now becoming my normal states of mind. Every day I'm becoming more and more lovable and understanding. I am now becoming the center of cheer and goodwill to all those about me, infecting them with good humor. This happy, joyous, and cheerful mood is now becoming my normal, natural state of mind. I am grateful. I think this is a great excerpt you can use as an affirmation. An affirmation you can use to start the day. You can maybe write down an index card, or you can refer to this from your smartphone or laptop. But try to memorize this affirmation. And every day when you wake up in the morning, or before you go to bed, or during your meditation, recite this affirmation to yourself several times through repetition. Remember, our behaviors are shaped through repetition. And say this affirmation with a clear intention and with decision and intensity. I shall grow more good-humored. Joy, happiness, and cheerfulness are now becoming my normal states of mind. Remember that it's about entering a specific state. All of us want to achieve specific goals because of the states it puts us in. So rather than waiting until we achieve a goal to feel a certain way, feel this way now and make the decision to do so. And when you make that decision, happiness and joy become a natural state of being. And that is the benefit of living with intention and grace. So then finally, to conclude, when your conscious mind, the little me, is full of fear, worry, and anxiety, the negative emotions engendered in your subconscious mind, the big me, are released and flood the conscious mind with a sense of panic, foreboding, and despair. When this happens, you can, like Caruso, speak affirmatively and with a deep sense of authority to the irrational emotions generated in your deeper mind as follows. Be still, be quiet, I am in control. You must obey me, you are subject to my command, you cannot intrude where you do not belong. So, once again, it's acting with conviction and a sense of authority. That whenever you feel distressed or discouraged or feeling some sort of negative emotion, you will talk to yourself or to your subconscious with such a sense of authority and power that these negative emotions melt away, because now you are consciously taking control of your life, and you are impressing the subconscious a more empowering, authoritative state where you're suggesting to it that all is good and that everything's in control. And by doing this, we're speaking with a sense of authority. Irrational emotions can begin to melt away. And this excerpt reminds me of a speech that Michael Crichton made. Michael Crichton being the author of Jurassic Park, Sphere, and as well as a number of other books that he's written, including The Andromeda Strain. And unfortunately, he passed away in the early 2000s, but a prolific writer and really one of my favorite authors. He made a speech at the Academy of Achievement, I believe in the late 1980s, when an audience member asked him how he was able to achieve all this success with his writing, with his books. His response was quite striking and reminds me of this excerpt by Dr. Joseph Murphy, where he said that he equated the conscious mind to a mouse and to the subconscious mind as the elephant, and that if we are to achieve any specific goal, we must use that elephant. We must use the subconscious if we are to achieve any specific goal. Because we must follow our instincts, and we can't over-intellectualize this and overthink. Rather, we must listen to our instinct and begin to act out on our ideas. And this is like a muscle. When we can consistently take action, we experience less resistance, less self-doubt, and we develop more conviction that will help us overcome irrational emotions and behaviors and help us move and propel us towards a more desirable circumstance. Thank you so much for watching this lecture, and I'll see you next time. Take care.